I became a maintenance drinker. The word functional alcoholic is a joke because none of us are functional when we're drinking. But I became a maintenance drinker to just stave off the shakes, just to always keep a little bit of alcohol in my body. I was so meticulous about this. I bought a portable breath tester like the cops use on the roadside, just to make sure, because I didn't feel intoxicated, but I would certainly feel if I was detoxing. So I would always keep this on hand so I know that I'm not going to crash down in the middle of a meeting, or when I'm taking a flight. 30,000 feet in the air is a really bad place to start detoxing. You start shaking and people in the seat in aisle 7B are looking at you like, my God, this guy is going to take the plane down or something. So I wanted to make sure that I was staying intoxicated even though I didn't feel drunk. And that's something, you know, non-alcoholics don't get this about us. Non-alcoholic has no clue what it feels like to drink alcohol. They never will. And I'll touch on that a little bit later because that's part of the stigma that goes along with why I kept on drinking, because I didn't want to be looked down on as somebody who had this drinking problem, somebody who had to come to a place. I went to Valley Hope in Arizona to find my sobriety, and it was a place not unlike Maida House where you get into a bunch of other people who speak your language, but I wasn't there yet. My mind was still on, I can solve this, I can manage this, I can just stay a maintenance drinker. But you know what, it was drinking beer, and you drink that much beer and you're waking up 3-4 times in the middle of the night having to go to the bathroom, and this was such a hassle, so I switched to Jack Daniels. Great idea, and my solution to alcoholism is go hard. Didn't bother with a glass, didn't bother with the ice, just straight out of the bottle. And I'm on my second marriage now. The first wife, and I have 2 beautiful children with her. She's a wonderful person. I think the world of her for not only mothering my kids, but putting up with me as much as she did. But she had enough. I was on my second marriage drinking 2 liters of Jack Daniels a day, not 8. And that was the minimum, just to keep me level here. I had, like I said, I had built up this incredible tolerance, and I'm a late bloomer. This started in my 30s. This wasn't a drinking career that started with hammering the beer down in high school, and then I'm in my 30s after 2 decades of drinking. No, this was pretty quickly. I progressed into 2 liters at least of Jack Daniels a day. My whole day was revolved around, where is that bottle? How much is in it? What time does the liquor store close? And also picking my liquor stores. I lived in a nice little palace up in Whitefish Bay, just up the road here, and it's like, wow, I can go to Sendik's, but all those people in Sendik's are going to be looking at me like, he was in here yesterday. And he bought a bigger bottle yesterday. And if I went to the other liquor store just on the street from Sendik's, you know, that's a small place, and it's one person who generally works there, and they're going to pick this up on the spot. They're going to say, Stevens is here. So I rotated my liquor stores around so nobody would catch on like I was worried about it. So I kept on this path, and things started to fall apart with my second wife. What I did is I married my drinking buddy. Great plan. The marriage lasted 6 months. The divorce took 14. But I drank myself out of that marriage just the same way I drank myself into it. She had enough of this. I started kicking her off with my drinking, and she took my car keys, and she was no longer my chauffeur, because she knew, even though she too was an alcoholic, she knew that if I got behind the wheel in the state I was in, even though I didn't feel drunk, even though you don't feel drunk, you're impaired. You're intoxicated and your reaction time is off, and cops are going to pull you over. Sooner or later, in this county, they're going to get you. So she was my chauffeur for that 6 months and most of our relationship right up until that point. And she said, no, I'm not driving you around anymore. You're done. So I started driving myself around. I got 4 OWIs in 6 weeks.
Oh,
that means prison. Of course, I have been to prison. Here's this nice palace up in Whitefish Bay.
wow.
This mutual fund career keeping the lights on and then some, giving me all the toys that I craved and loved, gone. All for the sake of this tolerance that I had. And once I cleared up a little bit from that fourth OWI in 6 weeks, I'm like, wow, I'm a mess. Before that, right before that stretch, let me tell you what the last straw for Patty was. I wanted to go to Arizona, so I went to the airport, and my routine was to get a ride to the airport and make sure that there was always a bottle of Jack Daniels in that ride, so I can pound it down, get all lubricated for the flight, because like I said, you don't want to sober up at 30,000 feet. Well, I overdid it, and I got to the airport and I passed out, which was kind of odd for me. They took me to the hospital. I had a blood alcohol concentration of 0.612, and obviously I missed my flight. As I was at the hospital, they pump the water in you, try to get you alive, basically, because by point of reference, you all know this, Amy Winehouse died at just around 0.40. You can die at a lot less than 0.612, but I'm alcoholic and I have a tolerance, just like a lot of you understand that you get to this point, and the very thin, razor thin margin between the pass out dose and the death dose is something that I flirted with a lot. I nearly died that day, but as soon as my blood alcohol concentration got down just under 0.50 and I was conscious, I pulled all this crap out of my arms and said, I'm out of here, and checked myself out against medical advice. Went back to the airport to try to catch a flight. I'm still flammable at this point, but I am still determined to do this, and it's because I am the alcoholic that I didn't want to be. I also almost died from withdrawal, and when I found out that this is one of the only 2 drugs that can kill you in withdrawal. Found myself in the hospital with a blood pressure 49/17, and it was close, another close call. I've got legal consequences, I've got physical consequences. Health-wise, what I was doing to myself was not very good. Got sober, went to treatment, and you know what? Despite all those consequences, went back out and did it again. Relapsed, got arrested. When you're on probation, that's not a good thing. So, I got another OWI because I thought I could do this. I thought I had it with my sobriety. Had a good 3 years in there. Thought, I got this thing. I'm back. I am indestructible again, and I'm feeling healthy, so you know what? I can manage this. And after that, I woke up saying, why did I return to the misery?